Hey, what's up? Uh, no, we're not glitching. I'm just kidding. What's up, everybody? So
What's
this is
up?
number 3
Good joke.
of 4
Good joke.
so far that we've done. We did one in March. We did one in last month. We are doing cancel culture, and then we are next month doing AI. We'll see where it goes after that. These have been super fun. Glad you guys are all here tonight. We are going to be talking about cancel culture. So I do want to mention one thing, please. It goes without saying anyway, I think in most of our channels, maybe there's times it's not, but especially tonight because of this topic, please no political or religion comments in the chat because it could get, I don't know. I don't really know where YouTube sits with anything anymore. So it could prompt you to want to go those directions. That's the only reason I mentioned it. But welcome to the greatest show on earth.
Nice.
3. And thank you for joining us tonight or on the replay. We will get to the chat here in a second. We do have 2 Facebooks, 4 YouTubes, 2 Twitters,
No, X.
Twitch,
X.
and that's that. We have that many channels streaming this right now, so we will see what we get into here. But so this is our 3rd one back, you guys. We're going to talk about cancel culture. Let me welcome tonight's panel. Right below me, I have you guys. Tremaine Hayho and Hayho Studios is going to. We say this, but it's not a joke. There's actually a plan in motion. You guys just we got to keep it under the covers. But listen, Tremaine's gonna
as we go live public, but it's under the covers here. We're talking.
Yeah, I mean,
the plan is
you'll know when you need to know.
Exactly.
But why not get involved now and help support him build the largest movie studio in the world?
The greatest, yes.
The greatest, yeah, largest, the greatest.
Well, if it happens to be the largest, that'll be cool.
Yeah, but then you got overhead and extra money. And
it's good.
Go striking again, and you'll be stuck with this huge.
No, don't think about it that way. It's gonna be
just go back to the roller rink. Just buy the whole roller rink. Own the whole building.
Roller rink.
Where's ice skating? Before this.
Okay, enough of it. Let's introduce someone else now. This is
okay. Let me redo it. And there we go.
Yeah, let's redo everything.
Guys, making amazing movies. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. You guys should check him out if you don't know him. He's put out some great movies. He's got the Simp behind him. He's done Rideshare. Let's get him.
The documentaries.
Cat Town.
Next to Tremaine, we have Tony the Driven Dad. A lot of you, most of you guys probably know most of us, but we're gonna go through this. Tony the Driven Dad. He's in Denver like me. He has lasers. Which I have lasers, but I don't even have lasers on mine. But awesome that Tony's here with us tonight. Glad he could join for this topic, especially. Above him, we have Ryan Welty. You guys know him as Welty. I think he just put out his first or the mixtape. Did you just put it out?
It's wrapped up the production.
Extremely close. Yeah, all the content of the mixtape, 13 tracks, they're all done. I've got a little bit of behind the scenes work to do, but we're almost there. By the next time we do this live, it'll be out there for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah.
Now, is there any significance behind the number 13?
Yeah. I mean,
no.
Okay. I thought maybe Welty had some master plan with the number 13 or something.
Like making a 14th track called 13 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
15 minutes or more.
That was smart. Hey, hold on. Who is that beside you, Steve?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Guys, so
last but not least, right?
Here we go. Yeah, not least at all. This is my son Max. He has done one other thing with me before. He is 17, and he kind of rounds out our ages here tonight. I'll just tell you the span. I won't tell you who's who. But the youngest and the oldest are in one thing. But 17 to 51, and it's not like the rest of us are buckled up hard. We all have spans in between there, which makes this conversation even more interesting, right? See what happens. So let's
see what we get into. But I was going to say it's not last but not least. It's last but definitely Max.
Hey, there you
He's
go.
one of those WWE announcer mics to announce everybody next time.
Well, normally,
Yes.
dude,
Coming
ask
up
me.
last but not
Part of
least,
it
we
must be
got
that you're here because I have a way of doing this. And with you here, it's different. It's weird. You guys try having your son on your podcast.
My
So-
son
It's
on the
good.
podcast would be very interesting.
yeah, your son on the podcast was interesting.
He was on one last year, but he
Right.
wasn't active like he is now.
But we'll say hi to the chat and then we'll see where this goes because I'm interested to see what the chat thinks about tonight's conversation too. I started doing research and it's very one-sided. I was surprised. I thought it was gonna be more two-sided a little. But what's up, Gigan? What's up, Traveler? Hey, Derek. What's up, Cody? What's up, Red? GWO in the house. Giggity, how you doing? Rideshare Road Warrior Rick. Deborah, how are you? Hey, Sean, trucking. Nice. He's over on Tremaine's channel. Sean used to hang out here a little bit too, and I haven't seen him in a while. Welty.
He's still hanging out.
Hey, Welty. TN. Thomas Mathis. Hey, Thomas, this is, and I'll tell Max the joke later, but this is who's Christmas wrecking.
Max is like, wait a minute. What did I sign up for that I didn't know about?
They can't wreck our Christmas. We don't have a chimney.
I do.
It's your room.
What's up, Rodney? How you doing? Hey, Kim. So Kim made it. Hey. Good. I saw part of your stream tonight. I had 2 other streams tonight, and I think that happened the last time we did this too. I had a 5, a 6, had 7 to 8 off, and I caught a little of that. So you guys had a good stream tonight. I enjoyed it. The little bit I saw. What's up, Diginomad? What's up, Terry? Oh, Terry, you're in Denver too. I did not know that. What's up, Victory Lap? What's up, Trixie? What's up, Cody? What's up? Did I miss anybody? Did I get them all? Oh, Trevor Harris. And
I'm Trevor.
Brandon Diaz. Thank you for joining us, sir. And I think that's if I missed you, I'm sorry. But here we go. Max, you got anything you want to say? You want to tell them anything about yourself before we get started?
My name is Max Johnson. I'm 17 years old.
I'm ready to party.
The
I'm ready to
cliffhanger.
party. Here we go.
So one thing I do want to mention before we do start about Max, because I've mentioned it before, but now that he's on, I want you guys to know Max went out. Most of these guys even know this. Max went out and got himself a job when he did as a lifeguard when all his buddies were getting fast food. He's now like making what, sadly, because of the conditions, a lot of gig workers are making. But he also coaches sports, and they really respect him there. And I don't know.
I just do everything in the race.
Yeah, he does everything now. He coaches. He's like all the certifications of lifeguard, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
Some of these comments.
Okay. So I had a couple definitions up. Like I said, I got about 15 links, and at the end I'll put them in the show notes if you're curious, because I tried to find. I mean, I looked through like probably 50, but it was hard to find links about cancel culture that either weren't so far pro cancel culture. It was either 100% pro cancel culture, or it was very difficult to find even somebody who had a pro con list. Everybody else seemed to be on, or for cancel culture, you know what I mean? Like there was a very small group of articles. So I've tried to find ones that were decent, kind of represented both, but they all lean to cancel's bad and for different reasons. That doesn't mean that tonight's discussion won't go that route. I guess one of the biggest challenges, if I know you guys like I think I do, is if we can find any goods of it, like anything good that's happened there. Yeah, like this video, like Tony says. But cancel culture. Who wants to give their best definition of cancel culture? Because I have the Wikipedia one, but I mean, Tony, you got the most kids. You do it.
I got the most kids, so I'm canceled.
Yeah, just like if somebody asked you what's cancel culture,
Okay, well, to me, cancel culture is when you are disliked by a group of people that have power on social media to get you either fired from work or deleted off of social media or just deleted off of media, period, for some of the people out there. Can't be on any sort of platform. So you could be losing your job or your livelihood. Also, you could be losing your home, depending on how far you get canceled. So it's kind of my perception of cancel culture.
Yeah. And that kind of, one thing I was a little shocked when I was doing my research was that almost all of them did relate it to just so I didn't always think of it as just social media. I
I
almost
think
think
social, to me, it's like social media is the avenue that the cancellation happens.
right. But I mean, like I noticed things that affect Tremaine. I was looking through Tremaine, I was looking through lists today of like movies this year that were canceled that are from the past. And to me, that gets into part of how I felt about it. Like this cancel culture goes farther than social media, it goes into history.
Yeah,
Like we're
but
trying to erase it's like we want to erase the bad things that we've
it's
done.
empowered by social media. Like
But then
that's
every single one of us knows the old saying. If you don't learn from the mistakes, you're doomed to
You're
repeat them.
bound to repeat it, right? Yeah.
I mean, if that's the case, but
Or
then
make 'em
Tremaine, I was
worse.
looking at all these movies and TV shows, and like if you like one example stood out to me. If you guys are familiar with the show 911,
rescue
Reno
911.
911.
no,
Reno 911.
no, that one should be if any should, it should be that one. This one's just like a normal, yeah, rescue 911 or whatever it is. I was shocked to learn that that got canceled from Fox and that for a year was off and now it was just repicked up by ABC, but they're under different standards. They have some rules now to follow.
Well, that's kind
Like,
of a different type of canceling. I mean, you can cancel a show.
well, no, this was a cancel culture. These were movies or TV shows that were canceled due to cancel culture. It's one of the articles.
Oh, I see. I see.
Like Live PD got canceled during
Yeah, I
2020.
mean, there were some weird ones on there, and then I saw lists of other things too, of like, some people, and some of the people I was thinking, yeah, you did some weird stuff. But again, I am of the opinion that if you do that stuff and you're on social media or you're a public figure, I mean, we can't just go, don't worry about that. Just erase it. Like, I don't know. So Ryan, where are you at with cancel culture?
Oh man, they'll do it with specific episodes of shows. They're cool with the show existing, but they'll erase one or two episodes. The Office has this issue to remain, doesn't it? Where one or two episodes either got made and never even got published, or they got removed, or
Yeah, I think there was one in particular that got taken down.
Yeah,
or
the first season.
Yeah,
yeah.
where they just not the whole season,
it's-
but yeah. Oh, it's in the first season.
It's like the second episode, or it's the one where he has to do the training and he does the like what am I? And they all have to hold the cards up to their heads.
It's funny the selective morality that people have, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
and then
to
that's the
me-
thing, though. It is selective because certain people somehow get a pass, where other people could do less, and they get the full extent of.
I'm gonna try my hardest, Steve, not to bring up things that you said the chat not to.
You can't. You're on the panel. Dude.
I know,
Oh
but
my
like,
Disney!
main-
Well, the thing is, though, it's like,
yeah,
are we
this is the
canceling
Disney
ourselves?
days
Are we?
that
are-
weren't that shouldn't be canceled, like the
Right.
1990s.
Grant in the building.
I
Well, I
mean-
mean, are we by avoiding certain things about? I mean, because I think we could talk about politics without getting too political. You know what I mean? Because it's like
Yeah, I
you
guess.
you could cancel someone for for a political belief, and we've seen that
Sure.
happen.
Okay. So
a
yeah, let
bunch.
me rephrase that. Don't use any party names or specific people. That I could see becoming trouble.
Oh, well, there's specific kinds of people that you can look up in the news that have not been canceled for blackface. They're prominent politicians,
Yeah.
but your average person can be canceled for that.
I mean, I'll give
I mean,
you an
not that I've
example.
used
Jermaine.
blackface
Here's
myself or
one for you.
anything.
I saw Urban Outfitters was canceled after they learned about where the funding for Black Lives Matter came from. I found that extremely interesting. Like, it was like they wanted to cancel anybody who wasn't on board. Now they're like, you're canceled because you did those shirts and stuff.
I'm not familiar with that whole situation. So what exactly?
Well, it was just I mean, look, guys, I mean, like, I think we're all on the right side of wanting to be
Of history?
good people and like not be racist and stuff, but that there was some funding behind that movement that is questionable. You guys can go Google it on your own. I'm not going to tell you about it, but I would say if you are not familiar, definitely Google it, learn about that movement, because I'm not dissing the name of it. I'm dissing what was really behind it. So, but I mean, I learned a lot doing this cancel culture shit too. So, I mean, just looking at it,
The
this
research.
So, okay, so here's what I got for what is cancel culture in layman's terms. For those who aren't aware, cancel culture refers to the mass withdrawal of support from public figures or celebrities who have done things that aren't socially accepted today. This practice of canceling or mass shaming often occurs on social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So that tied into your social, but aren't socially acceptable. What I guess, I don't know. Tremaine, what does that mean?
Well, it could be a span of things, because what's socially acceptable for one could be unsocially acceptable for another. For example, I mean, but some things could be widely socially unacceptable. All I have to say is two words: Will Smith, what he did. I think,
Two
slapping
words.
slapping someone or punching someone in a very public event. But at the same time, when you're a big celebrity, it's kind of impossible for him to get fully canceled.
Well, is
Because,
that a cancel culture?
you know,
Or is that a crime?
well, that too. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that's the thing, is like there's some where it's justified and it's real. I think maybe what we're talking about is, if, let's say, if Welty, when he was 13 years old, tweeted something like, I don't like red popsicles, right? Or what, I don't like Starburst, or whatever it is. It could be something so stupid like that, where it's like, oh, I'm canceling him because the red flavor of Starburst is my favorite, but that was his least favorite, so now it's controversial, something like that. Obviously, it would be more of an
Yeah, I
extreme
think Wikipedia kind of falls short on that, because they just, if I'm recalling your definition
It
correctly,
was
they
as
just
generic as it could be, yeah.
they just said it was about public figures or celebrities. Like, the first people I remember getting canceled, like, on a mass basis, is non-celebrities, just people getting doxxed because of their belief or values. People getting put in jail for things that they shouldn't be put in jail for, while others do worse and they're not. Like, these are just everyday people that, maybe they deserved it, maybe they didn't, but I don't know. I think that cancel culture is a little bit, it's kind of beyond the scope of punishment necessary for people not being tried in court for something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
almost
mean,
it's almost like guilty before proven innocent, or right. It's like you're already just
Like,
thrown under the bus, and you know, what were we gonna say?
yeah, I
kidding.
just think that it includes more so people in everyday life than just celebrities and public figures.
Yeah, it's definitely, and that's the thing, is like that, when it goes into people that lose their livelihoods, they lose their job because Susie Q, complained that so and so said something that they don't agree with on Facebook,
Right. Or
right?
it's out of context and it's not what Susie said.
Right.
But
And then they took
everybody thinks
it out of context. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the other part of it too is all the different people that we have in the country now. So that, I mean, even the little groups that complain can get their case. That's why, because I like going back to the office before I move on to something here. If they told me, listen, for cancel culture's sake, you have to remove one episode of The Office. I've seen them all. Okay, if you guys haven't, I'm pretty sure probably Tremaine has. So if you've
Actually,
seen
I
it,
haven't.
okay,
I
but
haven't either, but I've seen some.
here's
Yeah,
the
I've
deal.
seen some. I've seen the first season.
I wouldn't want to cancel any, but I could think of other ones before the one they canceled. So for whatever reason, there was a group that got mad about that. It gets taken down.
You
I
know,
mean-
I think I see. I don't agree with it being taken down. I feel like, you know, it's interesting. Even Disney, speaking to Disney, now they have in some Disney movies they have a disclaimer beforehand. Even like some animated movies, they have this big disclaimer. And the thing is, my problem with that is like people should be able to decide from themselves. They should be able to watch something, and if it's taken out of context or it is a dated thing, that they should decide for themselves that it wasn't intentional at the time for it to come across as you know, as hurtful, and it should just stand for what it is. Because when you get rid of old shows, that's a slippery slope. Because how far back are we going to go? Okay, if we're going to go
Yeah.
back 5 years, we're going to go back 10 years. You're going to go, okay, now all of a sudden, like The Sound of Music is going to be canceled, you know, or
Dude, if you go back to the original batch of shows, if you go back to the 50s, 60s, they'll all be gone.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, look
Exactly.
at like an Archie Bunker type show. You guys might not remember, but it was as racist as can be. And like honestly, that was over the line, and that's still out there. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know where these lines are drawn. I don't know who draws them. But here's a topic. This one goes to Max first, guys. So this is about why cancel culture is bad for kids. It came out of Time magazine. Through cancel culture, our kids are being pressured into conformity, which deters them from individuality. And what should be an opportunity to encourage growth and learning by coming together is actually promoting something else in our children. Fear that something they say or do or could come back to haunt them. How do you feel about that?
Wow. So first of all, let me define cancel culture
Whoa.
easily as canceling culture. That's literally what you guys
Oh,
talked about for 10 minutes. Canceling culture. All right.
Okay.
Like, let me put this as an example.
School us, Max.
yeah, School of Max.
Probably like a year and a half ago, I was sick, laying on our living room couch, and for some reason, I had BET on, and it's this movie about this son getting into this school, and the dad needing to dress up as this fat lady for some reason. I forgot. I was laughing the entire time. It was a good movie, but that's probably not going to be accepted in like 20 years, which kind of pissed me off because like that's kind of funny. Like,
Okay, that's a movie.
blackface is not accepted though. That's the one thing I will say.
But here, yeah, no, I mean, look, and if it is, it should be in a setting where people know it's like a comedy club comparison, okay? If you have full cancel culture, we won't have comedy clubs.
It's like I'm not going to go up to my black friend and call him the N-word. He can call me the N-word, but I can't call him the N-word.
Whoa, we're going to
Whoa.
talking about that because nobody should be calling anybody the N-word. And if you have a friend that can call you it, but you can't call him it, that's messed up. I don't know. Anybody else want to weigh in on that?
I've never been a fan of that word, but
Yeah. I mean, and it's not like
it doesn't bother
a
me
racist
that
word, it's the implications behind it. And he might not even know.
I kind of find it funny.
I mean, it doesn't bother me that it's like normal for people to use it with each other when it's, I guess, the appropriate race, but like I'm not going to be offended about it, but it's not my preference, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Welty, would you be cool if like one of your friends can say it and you can't?
Well, I mean,
Actually, can he call you it, but you can't revert back?
I don't know that I would say that I have any relationships that exist with that dynamic. I do think Max brought up the predictive element of this too, talking about, well, in 20 years, this isn't going to hold up. And I think that's an important part of the conversation, because there's a real arrogance that we seem to have in canceling a whole bunch of people, and then 40-45 years from now, what do you think? There's a real arrogance that people have in thinking that things won't develop into a place that they're going to be the ones canceled a few decades later. That's what really just kind of disgusts me a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Tremaine, I know, like me, you have friends of different backgrounds and whatnot. If somebody you're hanging out with is calling you that, and when I say and you can't call them that back, I'm saying that you wouldn't want to. But
Right.
like, would you be? Are you cool with that? Would that feel weird?
I mean, it'd feel weird. I wouldn't want to, I don't like, I have friends from all backgrounds, and obviously I'm not going to start spewing slurs at them,
No, no, of course.
but like, I think it's an interesting thing though. It's like amongst certain companies, you could say certain things behind closed doors, but in open doors, you're not actually saying it. Not that I'm talking about the N word specifically, but if it's say, you know, if you're teasing a friend, calling him gay or something like that, yeah, that could be seen as offensive. But at the same time, it's like, it's kind of how if you're best friends and you're not actually trying to offend a certain group and you're just joking with a friend, right? So it's like, oh, my friend calls me gay because I'm wearing a woman's, it may or may not be a woman's tiger shirt from Walmart, right? Like, do we cancel him or do we laugh? You know what I mean? So it's like, that's kind of my question.
Right.
Here.
I kind of remember those words were.
You don't need to raise your hand. Jump in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Let's also remember, you guys, that Max is 17 in high school. So this is actually interesting to me.
Yeah, do people
Because-
still call each other gay and when you're
I was just
17?
about to say that in middle school, that was like a term that everybody used. Now nobody's allowed to use it no more because it's
But the N word's okay.
It's okay. If my friend just says like, "What's up?"
Okay, no, right. So you're talking about not when you talk about gay isn't allowed. Are you talking about your crowd after hours or in school?
Talking about anywhere. That's word's just not allowed anymore to just joke around with.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Again,
I
it
found
goes
that
back
out a
talking
little
about, it's
bit
like,
with my brother-in-law.
It's like anything they decide to crash down on. There's no like rhyme or reason. It's not like, oh, they canceled all this. They just cancel things. They decide what they're going to cancel.
Can I say the worst part of it though?
Yeah.
It's at school. You got to be so careful what you say now.
Yeah, so that's what I was
Really?
going to say, is that cancel culture causes a lot of self-censorship.
Yes.
There's just
So
in my school especially, there's just like so many. Now there's just so many different like genders and stuff. That's just like,
Well, you could just call it victim groups.
Really? So wait, so Max, you're a junior or senior?
senior.
You're a senior. Okay, it's a public high school or private high school? Public.
Public.
Wow, that's interesting.
I mean, and also in the last 2 years, also remember, guys, Max's freshman year was the pandemic. So he spent the whole year here in the house. He didn't have a freshman year.
Yikes.
And then
Sorry.
sophomore year was that year that was screwed up. Oh, come back. Oh, wait, you're off for 2 weeks. Oh, wait, we're going to close for a month. Come on back. It was so messed. So he's really only had 2 full years of no screwing around with his school. But also now since the pandemic, I mean, sadly, I hate to say this, most of you probably already know this, even if you don't live here. Tony knows this for sure. Max knows this. We do have a lot of school shootings. Oh, they're all over, but Colorado's had more than its share. Max's school goes into lockdown often. I mean, I should knock wood because it hasn't been much this year. The last day of school, and prior to that, the 2 months prior, probably what, 10 times?
So, but it's always fake.
But it doesn't matter. Like, I'm talking SWAT team rolls up, hits the curbs.
I got a picture of
Choppers
like
are
50
on
cop
top.
cars outside my school.
I mean, this is how
Jeez.
they handle it. So, yeah, I mean, that's, and that's what I was saying is that, like, that's why I asked Max, because if you heard that question, part of what Time Magazine was saying was that while it deters them from being themselves, it's also creating a fear that what they say or do could come back to haunt them. I mean, I think that me growing up, I'm the oldest. I even had that a little bit. I can't imagine in his day and age.
Yeah.
Oh my
Paper
gosh.
trail is
I
digital
mean,
now.
you put something on the internet, there it is. It's for life, man. You better mean it.
Well, and this what sucks is that, like, Max, you're 17, and I couldn't imagine like my 17-year-old self if there was that digital, background. Like, I don't know, even if it's something stupid, you know what I mean? If I'm like, NSYNC's my favorite band, not that it ever was, but I love it openly, love NSYNC. But even if it's something, you know what I mean? If it's something
You remember that word that you said earlier?
I want to cancel it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I couldn't imagine, Max. I mean, to like kind of live in fear, it's almost. But,
I don't. I don't.
Oh, that's good.
I don't
That's
care.
okay. That's good. So then, are you as open in real life as you are, like, or do you even like use Facebook or?
Not. I mean, I'm not like 50 years old, so no.
Yeah, and
Damn. Okay.
So here's something. I tried real hard. Here's something I found. Why do people enjoy cancel culture? And this came from Newsweek. I'm mentioning these because they're not just things I'm finding random BS, but cancel culture refers to the practice of publicly calling out and boycotting individuals or organizations for perceived wrongdoings or offensive behavior. Supporters of cancel culture believe that it is an effective way to hold people accountable for their actions and promote social justice. Thoughts?
I think the people that are the most vocal online are typically the most how do you say on in real life they're kind of not as uh how do we say this, Tony? You know what I'm talking
PC?
about. Not as what?
PC?
No, not PC. They're kind of typically more. It's like the troll that'll say the horrible things online, but then like you confront them in real life, and then they cower type thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know,
or they're
um,
just AI bots too.
I mean, you should hear Tony and I talk more together. We're not clean mouthed like this.
well, and that's the thing is like I think the freedom of speech is the ability to speak freely, and also the ability to listen to speech that you don't agree with, and that's what that is. That's what it should be. You should
Yeah.
be able to hear it, or else that's not freedom of speech. That's actually, if you don't like what I'm saying, but then what are you going to do? You go to the manager, or if you're at a restaurant, try to, like, people try to get people thrown out, or they try to get, you know, have their whole livelihoods affected just because they don't agree with what they're saying. So, um,
No.
Yeah, I think that with that, they're mixing up kind of like using a boycott in a way to cause a cancellation based upon whatever victim group is the most affected in said speech or action.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Like people that speak for that group even though they're not part of that group, and then they're like
Yeah.
loudly shrieking, saying, "You can't say this," even though they're not even the. There was
Or
a
taking on shame for
for
like
example.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. So there was a guy wearing there was a video I saw, a guy wearing a sombrero, and he had a big mustache and Mexican blanket over, and maybe like maracas, and he walks around a college campus, and like white people go up to him like, "You can't wear that. This is like cultural appropriation. You know, this is terrible." And then he goes to a Mexican community, and they're all like, "Oh, you look great, my friend. Like, we love you. This is hilarious. You know, it's
Amigo?
awesome." Yeah, hello, amigo. Hola, amigo. Like, so it's something where when people are being offended for a certain group because they think that the other group should be canceled for something that they're just a costume that they're wearing.
Right.
That's becomes like you're in such a deep dark rabbit hole, and these people don't even realize that they are in this bubble. They're in this rabbit hole where they think that the other people are going to be offended when they're not at all.
The
Yeah.
Washington Redskins ordeal.
Yeah.
Yes. You mean the Washington football
perfect
team?
example.
No, it's the Commanders
And
now.
now
The
the and
Commanders.
now the
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
now
that's right.
the tribes that are like actually they're suing them, aren't they, to bring it back?
There's this a significant group of amount of people that want the name back.
Right, but I was even seeing things about the people they thought they were offending are like filing lawsuits going, "No, dude, bring him back."
Exactly.
They were like, "We're not offended. Come on."
Yeah. Well,
Because they're not any good.
it's the culture of using cancel culture as kind of like a law outside of the law. So like we don't have any laws restricting our speech in America. It's like the only country in the world who has that freedom of speech, but yet there's a law outside of the law that puts it into check.
Yeah.
And there's
Well,
a
go
certain
ahead.
laziness. There's a certain laziness to wanting to have everybody else make determinations for you about who should be canceled and who shouldn't. We don't make individual decisions based off of our own ability to judge intent anymore. And I mean, a comedian can get away with a joke, right? But somebody else couldn't. And so where do we draw the line? I'm to the point I've got in my YouTube bio, it says full-time gig worker, part-time rapper. I'm about to put part-time comedian under there too. That way I can just get away with more jokes, right? Because who's to say if I'm a comedian or not? And then they'll kind of back off. I was watching Netflix comedy show by Shane Gillis. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It's called Beautiful Dogs.
Yeah.
All kinds of jokes in that. I was like, I cannot believe this is on Netflix. Not because it's outrageous, but just because of the era we live in. I'm like, I can't believe it's, he's taking shots at both sides of the aisle, and I thought it was a great change of pace, but I was just surprised to even see it there. And then I'm thinking, well, he calls himself a comedian. I'm gonna start calling myself a comedian, gentlemen.
You really
Yeah.
should. And actually back in the day, in the like when it was kings and queens and everything, the king would ask for an opinion of people, and they would say, they would say whatever their political response is. But then there would be the jester, the court jester, and the court jester was actually the only one that would give him a legitimate response, someone that was objective, because he's making jokes. And if you're making jokes, you should be able to objectively look at things and not just have a one-sided political
What a great
point of
point.
it.
And the whole point of the joke is that it's funny because there's a truth in it.
Yes.
You know-
And that's why people laugh, right? Like
Yeah.
that's why,
Yes.
because
But speaking directly about, since you brought up comedy, I mean, do they have that? I mean, that exception too, because they get that pass, but here's where I really question people. If you go to a comedy club and you're going to heckle somebody for cancel culture stuff, don't go. What are you expecting? The job of a comedian is to offend everybody out there. So what are you doing? Hopefully he does offend you. If he does, don't mention it. You know, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like that. I'm shocked that those aren't canceled.
You know,
Can't go
I've
to comedy clubs anymore. Sorry.
well, you know, I feel like it's the pendulum swinging back the other way. I mean, I think comedy is coming back, and I think when people really got sick of just everyone walking on eggshells and not even trying to say anything anymore, and especially you know, Elon Musk like buying Twitter and rebranding it and actually saying that one certain group was suppressed at a rate of one like by 10, like 10 times suppressed. So that means that, you know, hopefully things are kind of coming back, at least on that end. But um
Yeah.
actually Sean, I'm not, can you text me, Sean? I can't find your number in my phone. We're gonna bring you onto the panel.
You can, Tremaine, you can just post it into your chat. I just won't let, if anybody else tries to use it, I won't let them in.
Oh, okay. All right.
I
That's
know
fair.
what Sean looks like. I'll bring him in.
Okay. All right, cool.
Nobody else use it.
Yeah, no one else use it.
Shout out to Boots.
Hey, thanks, Boots.
Dash Your Life Hawaii.
Man.
Yo, Boots in the building. All right.
You guys,
Dash Your
Boots,
Life.
for those of you that don't know,
Aloha.
we're on so many
Mahalo.
different channels. I know most people do because he's all around the community. But for those of you that don't know, he came to GigCon, and it was his big news was that he lives on Oahu, and he does gig work in Hawaii, and he earned over $100,000 last year. And whenever he's talking about it, he's saying like, "That's nothing. I can do that all the time, doing gig work." And now he hustles for sure. But he, you know, he was written up for that. I mean, I know we know other people who've done it too, but
Hey Max, make sure you get your $4 cut out of that 20. Don't let your dad get away with taking your cut.
wait, but the YouTube cut.
Oh yeah, 30%. Oh, we got
Well,
Sean
that's
the
a-
dog in the building. What's up, Sean?
Hello, gentlemen. Nice to see you again, Tremaine and Steve. Nice to meet you two other gentlemen. I've seen you on the stream before, but a lot of times it's.
That's not Sean.
Oh, okay. How you doing? It's all a matter of timing. Sometimes you guys are doing one and I'm passed out, or I'm out of the truck doing something or another.
So
But I'm
before he gives his take, I'll give you guys a little plug on Sean. Sean, if you can see well enough, Sean is a trucker. He does long hauls, cross country. Really good guy.
Truckers love me. Yeah, truckers. You would love me.
Yeah, I'm all over the lower 48, and I'm in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, and I'm headed to San Antonio.
Wow, Oklahoma.
So Sean, what is your take? Because you seem to really want to put something out there. I'm interested to hear it.
Yeah, well, when it comes to the race thing, basically it all comes to context. Like my race, I go by my 4 grandparents. My dad's parents, his father was a German. We used to call him the Nazi as a joke. And he spoke German, and he married a Chippewa Indian. That was from the reservation in Wisconsin. And my mom's parents her father was native. His name was Iron Eyes. He was a windtalker in World War II. Was married to a tiny Irish lady. She stood 4'10", but man, when she yelled, man, she could knock walls down. So I called myself a Chip McCrout. Sounds like something from the McDonald's menu, don't it?
Let me ask you this too. How many truckers participate in cancel culture? Is it 0?
0.
Yeah.
Now, in the truck stops, I've witnessed it where you could tell the type of people that are like that, you know. And truckers, we can be brash, and it's just the way we are. Some of us cuss like truck drivers, some of us don't. I mean, I rarely use bad language.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because it's easy.
But I would. But here's my guess: is that even the ones who are at church on Sunday don't swear, all that stuff, they don't care either.
Yeah, I'm not the model Christian, but I'm not a bad guy either, you know.
I'm just saying they don't care about cancel culture, or they don't care they do care about cancel culture is my point. Even those.
Yeah. What I like is this happened once at a Love's in Houston, Texas. We were talking about the women, we were sitting in the restaurant and we were keeping it to ourselves amongst the drivers, but a girl had overheard another guy. She thought it was me, but no, it wasn't me. And she called my company that I pull loads for. And I was like, they go, did you say all this at this restaurant? I'm like, no, there's the driver next to me. And they said, we tried to explain to her that you're our boss. She didn't get it. And then she was getting upset about it. And it's like, look, when you're self-employed, you own your own truck. Yeah, the company can say, we don't want you to pull loads for us anymore. And I can easily next day go to another company or go anywhere else and haul loads. That's no problem at all. The only pain in the butt is I have to strip my DOT number off and get another one, whoever I'm pulling for.
So let me put this question out there real quick to everybody. See who responds to this one first. So here was something. Again, this one came out of time. Why is cancel culture bad for mental health? Once cancellations begin, they quickly escalate into a sort of group bullying. Feelings of isolation, alienation, and loneliness can develop, and in some cases lead to depression, anxiety, and other mood disorders.
Well, can I comment on this?
Yeah.
My analysis is this. I could share the stories of what happened to me, but I wasn't so overly sensitive because I went to military school. Yeah, I was initiated. I had to stand on the edge of this balcony facing the all-girls school. There was the tree line and then the building was there and they all knew it and they all hung out there. I had to stand there and do the truffle shuffle in my boxer shorts and my dress hat. That was my initiation in military school.
What's the truffle shuffle?
That comes from the movie Goonies. It was real popular then.
The movie maker not know Goonies.
I've seen Goonies once. I get the whole oh hey you guys, ha ha ha, funny. It's okay. Sorry.
Yeah, Corey Feldman made.
Watch, now I'm canceled. They're canceling me because I'm not a big Goonies fan.
Canceled. I love the Goonies.
I'm canceled. It's overrated in my humble opinion. It's way overrated movie.
It's not all millennials, and I don't blame the entire generation, but there's a subset culture in the millennials that they didn't have nothing to fight for or to bitch about. Let's put it that way, like other generations did. So they drummed up the past to have something to complain about. Like, I got friends that are trans, gay, whatever you want to call it. They're friends of mine. I may not partake, just like I don't drink, but I don't sit there and try to cancel anybody that's a part of that. I got good friends that are also alcoholics. I said, you may need to cut down, but I don't cancel them because I don't partake in that.
100%. No, I mean, you don't also need to run away from them. You can go shoot pool with them. You don't have to have a drink.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I don't know. Anybody else on that mental health one? Because I saw a bunch of things on it.
Well, there's like a micro cancel culture going on too with social media, especially in like Max's and my daughter's age ranges, where if you do something that somebody popular doesn't like, it's very easy to get you canceled through social media. And that does cause, like, especially in teenagers, suicidal thoughts or actual suicide over being canceled with your whole social group, whether it's at school or church or whatever organization, your sports team or whatever.
Yeah, I think on Friday they're doing a suicide presentation in my school.
Hey, Steve, when you're talking about suicide, this is a true story. I'm sure if y'all remember the song Jeremy by Pearl Jam. That's a true story. Yeah. And this kid, waltzed into a school with a gun. He didn't shoot anybody. Nope, stood right in front of the class and blew his own brains out.
Yeah.
There was a different culture back then when he did it.
I mean, at the same time you're talking about Pearl Jam, Kurt Cobain did it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
my
mean-
brother actually experienced a suicide from a friend that did that in the parking lot of a school dance.
You know, it's weird that we're talking about this, but one of my very dear friends, like in our very most inner circle of people, got married. And I feel even bad saying this about him because he really was one of the kindest hearted people ever. But I won't say his name out of respect, but literally he got married. He was always a happy person. Got married, had a kid. She was 1, got divorced. The divorce was so nasty. He was worried about not seeing the kid and he killed himself. He shot himself.
Jesus.
He was 32. And like I had known him for 15 years prior. He was an amazing person. Like outgoing, really never blinked about any of that. So yeah, I mean that's a whole nother thing. But I guess Max, like share some of what goes on in a high school these days, because Welty's the only one who's even close to understanding.
Steve.
Break down a high school day for us, because all of us don't even know. Tony's wife, I've told you, homeschools the kids. So
Steve,
I go to my first class. No, sorry. Let me start at the start of the day. I bike to school. I go to my first class. I go to my second class. I go to lunch. I go to my third class. I go to my fourth class. I bike home.
I mean,
amazing.
Well, though.
He doesn't interact. He just goes and comes home.
How does school go during a day?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, has it gotten to the point where, like, because I know, like, I didn't have phones. Some of us didn't have phones. Like now, I know some of your classes make you. I know at one point they were having.
At the start of the year, they gave up on it already, but they had you turn on your phone to be in attendance.
That's how you got attendance. You dropped your phone in.
I like that idea. I like it.
What if the kids' parents didn't give them a phone?
Or if you have 2 phones, that's what happens in my wife's class.
What if you have 3 phones?
Too, and I forget the answer.
Teacher, I don't know. Sometimes I would just say I don't have a phone right now. And they just
right
again,
now.
It shows a not thought through plan. Hey, let's take all their phones. Half of them don't have them.
So I mean, are kids like just texting all the time during class? Is that what it is?
It's like. Yeah, it's just teachers are just fed up with like kids just being in their phones all the time.
I could not imagine being
and
a
I
teacher.
get it, but at the same time, I do not care.
Yeah, I would hope you would.
To be a teacher right now.
Yeah, but then when they go into lockdowns and stuff, I get a text. He better have his phone, because that's the first thing I do is text him. Are you cool? Are you okay?
And every time I'm like, yep, I'm cool. There's nothing happening.
Right, but if they were taking his phone and keeping it for attendance, going to lockdown because of the new system, I need to be able to get in touch with him. So I don't know, but I meant more like the culture. Like, so bullying's not allowed. But it kind of is, or I don't know. I grew up in a completely different high school environment.
Can I say something?
Steve, are you Gen X?
Go ahead, man.
I mean, to be honest, everyone that goes to my high school is kind of a pussy, but
don't say that. We're gonna get canceled now, damn it.
But Steve,
what is the definition of that?
Like,
does that exist in real life?
Like, there's all these kids just feeling so good about themselves, and then I look at them, and they act so tough, but none of them like fight or anything. It's like,
well, you don't need to fight unless you need to.
But what he's
let me give you an example. Me and my friend are getting back from lunch one day, and this kid is just looking at me from his car, and so I just look back at him. He rolls down his window and says, "You got something to say?" And I say, "Yeah, I do. Why the fuck are you looking at me?" And then he says, I forget what the comment was, but he says something about me. And I'm like, "You want to say that again?" And I start walking to his car. My friend's holding me back. He rolls up his window and doesn't say another word to me.
Now, at the same time, At the same time,
Cancel.
Max was playing basketball at the same place not too long ago and had a gun pulled on him.
It was
Oh,
a
jeez.
it was a fake gun. You could tell by the orange tip because they didn't.
Yeah,
they were
but
kinda
people rolling by in a car trying to act like it's not. They were trying to treat it as a real deal.
Now my friend was freaking out, but I saw the orange tip right away, and I was like, worst case scenario, I get shot by a BB.
Dude, you shouldn't stand there like a target, though.
I literally had a basketball and a speaker in my hand. Like it was such a bad robbery attempt.
Max was about to pull that BB
I'm
gun
just
out of
pointing
his
out
hand
because
and
they went
turn
back
it
to
on him.
high school. They told by the way, there's always an on-duty police officer at his school.
Oh,
Not
good.
Security guard, a police officer. I know, but
Wow.
this is
I
our
think they
tax
need more.
dollars that make it so that
Well, they
now-
should be. Schools should be protected. I mean,
Yeah, they
we
should.
have, absolutely.
They have like 6 like DPS security guards, and then they have a real police officer in a car outside all the time. It's like kind of annoying sometimes.
Hey,
Like,
Steve.
why hire the DPS police officers when their job is to walk around with walkie-talkies and not do anything?
This is in Cook County, Chicago, where I grew up. Okay, on the South Side.
Yeah, I
And
grew
we
up
wrote.
in- so I'm right there with you.
Yeah, you're Generation X, right?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, I'm the youngest of 5. I remember the older boys, the one that was dating my oldest sister. They'd come on school buses with shotguns and everything because they were going to go hunting after school. No problem back then. We're talking late 70s. No problem. There people had shotguns in the back of their pickup truck when I went to high school. No problem.
When I went to high school in Idaho, there were plenty of shotguns there too.
So, another comment about why is cancel culture good for us that I found, and I know we were talking about this a little earlier. Cancel culture allows marginalized people to seek accountability where the justice system fails. How do you feel about that?
I feel that's some bullshit.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
I just got to groan. I just groan. That's my response.
I know that.
Well-
I brought that one in and said it because it made me sick when I saw it.
Well, the rest of you were kids when the internet came around. Me and Steve grew up without internet,
I mean,
and we had to be sociable.
I didn't get internet until I was in high school. So
Oh, okay. But see, you grew up. You remember when there was no internet, you had to be sociable.
yeah.
But when the internet went nuts, and this next generation had become adults, they forgot how to be sociable. There's a section of them that forgot how, and
I'll
that's
never
where the
learn.
anxiety comes in and everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, when I see comments like this in major publications, it makes me a little sick though, because it's like these things shouldn't be said. Because from what I was seeing, it was cancel culture is the early 2010s is what most call it to now. And it's like you'd think it would have died by now, but it seems like the pandemic really amped it up, if anything else.
I think the height of it was pandemic. I feel
mean, you
like
think it's
we're
going
at a
back
lower. I think it's going back down.
I think the people who
What do you guys think?
I agree 100%.
Yes.
yeah. I mean,
think
look,
that
we said
there's
we
also-
wouldn't
I think
do-
because people didn't have anything else to do but to cancel people, right? Or like you're sitting at home and people are like probably searching through 10 years of or 20 years of internet.
Well, I also
you know.
think there's like a cycle coming up for next November that kind of coincides with like how the cycles of these kinds of things happen.
But
that-
the thing I'm sorry.
is that what you're saying, Tony? That it'll flip?
No, not necessarily, but like because of political positioning,
Yeah.
some things
what we said at
get
the
put
beginning.
on.
Let's get into this here as we.
Oh, now we can get juicy. Okay,
Yeah,
here we
I'm
go.
just saying, just like in general, with 1 year to go till election day for a presidential election, some things aren't necessarily a way to leverage as if they are after the election for either side of the political aisle. So, like, there will be things that happen that are not happening now that are probably worse than cancel culture, to be honest. But like, I think cancel culture will take a little bit of a backseat for your average person, and it'll be directed at politicians.
Yeah. And that's okay. So I said we'd stay away from politicians, but I'm going to say a name. It doesn't relate to how any of us feel, or it might, whatever, doesn't matter. But I'm just going to say the name because it's a perfect example. Because if you were to say this name, you are judged by everybody. And I think we
Lyndon
all,
B. Johnson.
it's Hitler's one, but it's our prior president, which puts stress on voting and talking to people about politics, which needs to happen if we're going to evolve. You need to be able to talk about politics.
Yes, but that doesn't really help.
I'm not saying that, I'm not saying anything about the current president or him. I'm just saying we need to be able to talk about it. You can't.
Mm-hmm. I got 2 words for you, Steve. Made in America.
That's 3.
I thought you were going Alex Jones there, Steve.
That's our current. That's a direct quote from our current president. Beautiful quote.
He put that many words together? I'm just kidding. Now, man.
So I'd like to hear what Max said. Do kids talk about politics in class?
No, not at all. No.
Do they care at all? Or
only the kids on TikTok his age range.
But Tremaine, did you in high school?
I'm trying to think. Man,
in high school, I didn't.
Even me, I mean, it's a while ago, obviously.
So
I don't.
My freshman year was 9/11.
I mean, like the last joke that was made politically was, did you guys see Trump's mugshot?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
He said it.
Now that was funny. That picture was funny. I'm not gonna lie.
It was funny. He looked like a killer bee or a killer.
The real people who were behind the Black Lives Matter movement, the true people who believed in what the movement was, actually are making shirts and hats out of that.
A lot of people are. A lot of people are making a lot of.
I mean, I meant the good people out of that. It's kind of weird. So
he gained a lot of popularity at certain circles.
I mean, maybe it's any press is good press, but with him, it's just crazy too.
Do you know how the BLM thing got started? It got started from one woman holding up a sign at a protest rally. There wasn't very many people there, holding up a sign next to another woman. Her sign said, "I shouldn't have to worry about my son being shot to death for robbing the store." And I'm like, did these people actually write that? Yeah, they did. That's where the Black Lives Matter thing got started.
So, you heard me in the beginning say that. I don't want that to sound wrong because I am relating it to the Minnesota incident, because that's when it really picked up some steam. And there were a lot of people who were on the side of it. Like I would have even been had I not found out what was behind it.
Yeah, we weren't given the entire story either.
No, not at all. And neither were the people out there picketing, supporting, and all that. And that's what I feel bad for, because they were actually, the funding and everything behind it was not about what they thought it was.
I wanted to tell you when I was behind here about the sports teams. I go through the Navajo and Apache reservations all the time. I go to gatherings, which are the major powwow they had in Albuquerque. I was supposed to be there, but I couldn't make it. But I go to powwows all the time. I made friends on different reservations everywhere. And when you make a counter argument to this cancel culture, I told them, I said, you haven't been to New Mexico, Arizona. There are more Redskins fans in those 2 states than in Washington, D.C. The RG3 jerseys were everywhere on the reservation. Yeah, they love the Reds. They love the Redskins there. Nobody really complained. Yeah. Nobody really cared either.
And I mean, I think I might be wrong, but I think the same thing happened with the Seminoles, and and with the tomahawk chop. That was that was a fun thing for the participants to do.
About the Indians.
Yeah, or the
The Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
Or Cleveland Indians.
Well,
Come on, man. I feel like you're not
Did they
helping them.
change that team name too? Is it
The Guardians.
Oh, it's
So
still the
is that
Seminoles.
the Guardians?
No. I'm talking about the
baseball team?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, when I said Seminoles, I was talking about Florida, but
Oh, okay.
you know, that's
But I'm a Blackhawks fan. You know, the hockey team, the Blackhawks. They'll never change the name of the team. I went to a game. Yeah, before the season ended last year, I went to a Blackhawks game and I had my face painted, I had my feathers on and everything, and they tried to get me to leave. And I said, "I'm half Chippewa Indian. This is part of my culture. My aunt that still lives on the reservation, and you know, with the Dells area, and you know, they gave me a hard time about it, but they let me go through. And it's like, you know, a lot of people like the Chiefs, they won't let you wear anything that deals with Native Americans. And I'm like, I am one. I also am quarter German, quarter Irish.
I would think that, geez, man, I would go buy I mean, they're too expensive, but I'll find somebody who would buy an entire reservation, 2 sections at a football game, let them go in with 2 attorneys and sue the crap out of them.
Yeah. I mean, like I tell people, I'm half white and half red, so that makes me pink.
Ridiculous.
I make jokes. We all do that on the reservation. And it's very diverse. There's some that are mixed with Japanese, Filipino. I mean, you name it. Miko, he's 1/4 black. And a lot of people don't know that. It's very diverse on the reservation, too. They're not 100% native. I mean, there are some, but not a lot.
So, Welty, what is the point of the people, the big picture point of the people who want cancel culture? Like, in a perfect world, what is their head thinking? Like, this is what we want.
Deflect attention, feel like they're accomplishing something. It's not. Well, Tony made a good point that it's AI bots that they set up to, but before AI, people were taking the time to scroll Twitter accounts for hours at a time. What are you not prioritizing and taking care of in your life if you're doing that? But it's, you know, there's 2 ways to build the tallest tower in life. You can either build the tallest tower, or you can tear everybody else's down. And there's a lot of people that find it to be easier to tear everybody else's tower down.
For a young man, you got a brilliant mind.
Appreciate that.
I've said this to Welty too many times. Don't give him too big of a head, because I've said
those aren't original ideas, not at all. But I believe they're true.
I just wonder what the middle Steve has to say about this. The one in between Steve and Max.
He doesn't talk much.
The one with the microphone.
Oh, and you're wearing the same shirt in that picture, Steve.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said that. Then they said Max is wearing it too. But okay, so I guess as we kind of round this out, let's go all the way around. We'll end with Max. You know, like let's just end it with a basic question. If somebody came up to you and or you're stuck in an elevator for 2 minutes or a minute, and they said, "What's your view on cancel culture?" And you'd already talked let's say you were on for 3 minutes and you're done, and you kind of were clicking with the person. The last minute, this is their question to you.
No comment.
You're last. Welty, you can go first.
You already went.
Oh yeah. So we'll go to Tony.
All right, repeat.
Like if you're kind of, let's say you're on an elevator with somebody for a couple minutes and you're talking to them, you're the only two, and you like the same teams, you like some of the same activities, you think, oh, I'm clicking with this guy, and then the last minute he says, "So what's your view on cancel culture?"
I'd have to question his
Did you just laugh like that?
I'd have to question his priorities there. No. I'll just say that, like, I had a conversation with a lady in the Walmart. So I was in Walmart looking down each damn section for the right drink because I needed something to drink, but they all have like just these crappy flavors in the. I try to find one that I like, and I'm walking through this thing, and this lady, she like just like gives me this weird look because I'm wearing this shirt right here, and I didn't think anything of it until like I saw her look and I keep on moving, and then all of a sudden I'm like, why'd she look at me like that? Because she looked really offended. And then I looked down at my shirt. I'm like, oh, I understand now. And she confronted me at the self checkout while I was being a Walmart employee checking out my own groceries. She had approached me and she asked me what did my shirt mean, and I got into a conversation with her and came to the conclusion with she came to the conclusion. She said, okay, so I felt like your shirt was threatening my life, that I shouldn't exist, and after talking with you, I couldn't have been more wrong. And she apologized for it, and um yeah, it was just an interesting situation where if people would actually have conversations with the people that they are alleging offense from, maybe they would find more in common with each other than they actually believe they have in common with each other, of being people who love our country, who love freedom, and just want to live a life of prosperity that we can in this country. So where I could have got canceled by her, I didn't. And I didn't have any intentions of canceling somebody who got offended by something I'm wearing.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's say within reason. You can't have like, I love the Holocaust.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, we all got to
actually it was the exact opposite of that because the Holocaust
Steve,
is-
somebody's clipping that 3 seconds right there.
There goes monetization. Yeah, they're gonna clip Steve. Yeah, so Steve's gonna be
Oh no, Welty. I think Welty's talking about some troll.
on the loop.
So.
Yeah, those 4 words, not even what you said before, just those 4 words right there. That's gonna
yeah,
be a
but
YouTube
that might
clip.
actually be something that's in support right now, apparently.
What do you mean?
Just,
Oh, Steve, no, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
I'm just saying in the
no,
news cycle right now.
Yeah.
No.
Let's avoid that one.
Tremaine, I guess for you, same kind of question, but maybe put it into the movie thing because I could see this happen. I could see this happening to you. Like, I know that you're independent, so you're a little better off. But somebody saying, well, you can't have that scene go this way.
Right.
You need to take this person out of it. You need to put this person in, and you can't have them say those slurs. How do you deal with that?
I think the only way that would really happen is if a platform was that one of my movies is on, they would say, okay, it's a great, yeah, if they were to say that, yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, I would have to make a disclaimer for their disclaimer, basically saying this is a censored version. And if you want the uncensored version, go to patreon.com/HeyHostStudios and watch the real thing. So I would try to spin it in a way to like actually um benefit my own thing. And it's hard because I would never want to cancel any previous past movies that I ever made or produced or directed. People try to cancel Rideshare because it's about a killer rideshare driver. Like, oh, he's a bad guy who's killing people. And some people think that that some people are trying to side with the main character. But I feel like the audience should be able to make that decision for themselves, whether or not a murderer is a good person, right? Or if you agree with certain, you know what I mean? And so it's like, I think it's a ridiculous thing, and people should be able to learn how to think for themselves and not just point the finger, point the blame, and try to.
The timing of rideshare with the Kalamazoo thing was weird, though. And I know somewhat even you knew about it, but I mean, it wasn't like you were writing the script, but like I remember that's part of how you and I met on Twitter was that people were throwing that up, and I'm like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, well, that was kind of a concern too, making it, because I didn't want people to think that I'm trying to glorify terrible things that are happening. But it's like terrible things do happen, and people do kill people, and almost every day there's either an assault or murder or something terrible that happens in a rideshare experience, whether it's in the US or halfway across the world. So I've had other people that are saying thank you so much, because now I'm like going to be a lot more careful. I'm going to be a lot more, cognizant of it. So, and we'll just wait till people see what they think of it.
And guys, this comment from Welty that goes for all our channels. I mean, look, as long as you're not as long as you're not like saying Tony's a jackass without reason, just going off. Yeah, of course I'm gonna kick
I'll
you
be
out.
like, yeah, that is true.
But and going back to what Tony said is like, if someone says screw your movie, my reaction isn't like, well, screw you. It's more of like, well, oh, really? That's interesting. What makes you feel that way? And then I want to hear what their side of the story is. And,
if I get comments like that, I highlight it and I even say, can you explain a little more? I got no problem with that, but can you tell me what you're talking about? And usually they just leave, or else they're not commenting anymore. But it's
right,
they'll just go. They're like, wait, he actually replied to me. I don't have a response.
It's like a lot of time it is kind of like cockroaches. You shine the light on them and they scatter. But I am actually interested in what they, and if they do say something, you respond.
Is it a worry of yours though?
Not really. No, I mean, because it's my own company. I feel if I worked for someone else, yeah. If I had other people signing my paycheck, I would be more concerned, I would say.
So in no way when
it's
you're
my
doing
livelihood
scripts or movies, are you taking into account cancel culture?
No. I'm more of thinking like, oh, what's my mom gonna think of this? Like, is she gonna, like, oh, if there's a sex scene in a movie, it's like that's kind of more of what I'm more concerned about than what random person on Twitter or X thinks. And also also with movies, if they try to cancel a movie, it's almost like a good thing, because it'll just market the movie even further. So not that I'm trying to make something that will get me canceled, but
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear you wouldn't alter something and go, wait, is this cancel culture appropriate, or is the woke crowd gonna get pissed off about this, or because I've seen all your stuff. Oddly, you guys, that as honest, I've seen everything Tremaine's ever done. Go see Rideshare. Make sure to see the documentary Cat Town Story. Tremaine is actually going to be doing something with me that we'll be talking about later. Not tonight, but soon. And then Simp.
That's right.
Sure. So yeah, that out. Sean, real quickly, how do you feel about if you were talking to somebody like another trucker, let's say, that you were clicking with, and he asked you, and unlike most truckers, maybe you just didn't have the vibe of maybe he isn't like the other truckers. Like,
yeah. Well, let me paint you a broad picture and give you my answer, okay? This may seem like I'm falling off somewhere, but it's not. It goes along with that, and I'm glad we got two youngsters in here to hear this. This is important information that you could take with the rest of your lives, because you're going to be living through it. Forget that I'm a truck driver at the moment. You got to consider what I did before this and my educational level. I'm not boasting or anything like that. But there's a lot of college graduates driving trucks now because it's the only thing that really pays.
Right.
And that's true in a way, because all the good paying jobs got shipped away. But here's what I would tell them. I'd be like, you would have more things to worry about in your economical future than worrying about this small cancel culture thing. I go to many different countries and I learn about the culture and other things. And my college economics professor in college told me while I'm doing this, he said, if you want to understand the politics, the culture, the art, and the music, you better have a clear understanding of the production and the distribution of the surplus. And I understood what he said. I'm like, okay. But to you young guys, I want you to remember this about our country. You and I, all of us sitting here, are required to live with the consequences of the decisions made by the corporate leaderships, decisions from which you and I are excluded. Whatever else you call that system, it is not democratic. Think about that for a minute. Take it with you. That's good information. I would tell them you have more to worry about because your economical future does not look good for any of us. It's going to get worse. It's not a question of whether where the next economic crash is going to happen. And believe me, this next one is going to be a doozy. That's something more to worry about than the cancel culture. And I would try to explain to them, these youngsters, forget about this. This is a bunch of crap somebody put in your head. Worry about what really matters that affects all of us, not just this group over here, that group over there. The economic future of everybody affects all of us. We're all in the same boat together. And I'm sorry to stun you all guys because I do love playing the part of a dumb trucker. Tremaine knows that.
No. Every time you joined us on Driver Nation, we always knew because we got into some actually very, very deep talk. So you're not by no means, guy. First of all, you shouldn't categorize truckers that way anyway. I know a lot.
Yeah, my name is not Rusty Nail.
Sean is like extremely smart. So yeah.
I have a master's degree in economics and history and business, but I'm a truck driver like my father because it's what pays. I trained a computer engineer, for God's sake. He was a childhood friend of mine. His job got shipped over to Hyderabad, India.
Yeah, I mean, now you're talking about a whole other thing about actually might relate to you, but I'll let you speak first. What would you say about cancel culture? Like if like you're clicking with somebody, let's make it a girl. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so you're clicking with a girl and be like,
there's no shot she would say anything about it, but yeah.
Okay, never mind. You're clicking with some dude and he says, and you're like, gosh, same sports teams. Oh yeah, like that. I do that. Snowboard. Like, okay, cool. And then he's like, hey, where are you standing on cancel culture?
I'm gonna say two things. First of all, my favorite part of it is whenever I'm filling out like a survey or application that doesn't matter, it always asks me for my gender now, and I always put other, and then I put some goofy answer like chair, some random celebrity, sweatshirt. That's my favorite part of it. That's always fun to do. Otherwise,
I put tiger.
Otherwise, it's pointless. It's a waste of time.
Now, if you were this is somebody you're clicking with. This is how you'd answer him. You do shoot straight, and I appreciate that.
I think that sums it up. I think that's pretty much he said in waste.
He's saying that,
or in 4 words, just as what we said. And
yeah,
it's better than what Steve said in 4 words.
That's
3.
right.
I got 2 words: made in America.
Yeah. So real quick before we get out of here, because I would kick myself in the butt if I didn't. And then we'll just quickly go around and see what any of us have going on here. But Welty, I need to ask you advice for Max. He's going to be taking a gap year. I think I told you this the last time. For those that don't know, Max started a year early. So he will be graduating in this school year. He'll be 17 for 3 more months.
You're just broadcasting my life to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to make sure that he's not getting in Ubers by himself. And
no, but I'm saying, like,
know.
Welty last time said, I'd have some things to say to him. Like, what would you say to him about the gap year, and what you don't have to go too deep, but any kind of, what would you say about it?
Just maybe deploy delusional self-belief, because if you lose, you could, I mean, you're 17, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so most people don't even start playing the game of life until mid-20s anyway. You could lose for the next 6 years and literally start from day one again at 23, and you've not really lost anything, so you might as well just be a go-getter. And I hate to do this to you, Steve, with you sitting here, but
It's
a
all
big
right, dude. Be honest, man. Go.
big move for me was just moving out of the house. I lived in I found a rent situation that was $200 a month. It was an extraordinarily low quality of life thing, but it got me out, and there's real value in that. There's a lot more value in that than just the savings, or I guess you could argue that there's a cost there. I was actually paying rent living in my own parents' house, but that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, delusional self-confidence, you can't possibly lose in the next 5 years, so go for it. And you seem to already know who you are a little bit, but you'll definitely feel that a lot more once you're on your own.
My plan right now, since everybody already knows, is just to work, save up some money, and then just try and find something I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like, look, the way I view it, he's a hard worker. Like he treats. You were saying he might have a case of senioritis. And maybe he does.
I definitally did at that time.
I had senioritis when I was a freshman.
Just like, dude,
Yeah.
I going to college, and I just don't
Still have senioritis.
But
Now I'm a senior with itises.
With itis,
arthritis.
I hate to be this guy because I'm not this guy, but he's gonna get his diploma. I gotta make him do that. That's my job.
Is he going to college?
Well, he's taking I don't know. He's
taking a gap year to decide what he wants to do next afterwards, right?
Well,
Whether
when you go to
college, trade school, or just
yeah, because that's the thing, man. Like, I got to be honest, Sean. What does college do for you if you're just going there to be the generic? Max is like a good egg. He's an individual. Not everybody is. Part of cancel culture is producing drones. And these drones go to college for $100,000, and then they can't even work for Uber when they're done. They don't even know how to work.
Yeah, well, there are some good colleges out there, and then there's not so good colleges. When you do go to college, you will learn that it's in every university. You're going to run into different kinds of people that this person's nuts. How are they on this campus? Exactly. You're going to learn human behavior.
Oh yeah,
what can you?
The day
some of this talking about. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say my university, the day after the 2016 election result, all classes were canceled for mental health day.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like, here's a comment saying, go to trade school and do college later. See, again, what if he doesn't even go? What if he takes the year gap, and after that year gap, he's got a job he loves and it's paying good?
Yes.
And he feels great about himself. Why? I'm not trying to just to push it away, because I support whatever he does and chooses. But to be honest, if he's doing well, he knows who he is, and he doesn't want to go to school. Why? Why should he even go? I mean, how are you doing after a little bit? Are you, even if you're not killing it with money, if you're feeling like I got this, and you just don't have the urge to school? I feel like here's my point. I feel like too many people go to school just out of, I think I'm supposed to do this.
Can I give an example?
Yes.
Out of everyone I know, I'm the only person that has met the mayor of Denver, Mike Johnston, and I have a picture with him too. That's like my coolest achievement right now.
That's your coolest achievement? No, dude. Look, saving lives as a lifeguard is your coolest achievement.
Everyone says I look like Mike Johnston too. I don't.
What's really funny is we had our landlord,
Mike Johnson and Steve Johnson.
Our landlord put a sign for him when he was running in our yard. She was like, "Can I just put this in there?" I'm like, "Okay." We get along with her really well. And Max is like, "Who's this guy? Why can't we throw this in the trash?"
And now he's my favorite politician.
Only because
I wanted to comment on that trader business. That seems to be the number one excuse for people going to college. Not necessarily. It's good to learn a trade or what have you, because my grandfather was an electrician. Okay, but it was good in its day. But we have a lot of people that have gotten those degrees in a trade or what have you, but they're being overpriced and out of business because I'm not being racial or anything, but it's the truth. Why would they hire an overpaid United States citizen, regardless of race, when they can hire this other guy's team that they're a bunch of Mexicans that are lucky to speak English and do it for half the fraction of the cost? That's who's been getting all the trade work. When go to a construction site and see who works there, and there's your answer. Nine times out of 10, it's a team of Mexicans, whether they're legal or illegal. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
They're going to go to the one that is going to do it for the cheapest cost. That's just straight up business.
Yeah.
So trade business, yeah, it's good to try to get into that, but you don't want to make that your sole thing. You want to move around. That's why a lot of professors will tell you, how about a liberal arts degree? Now, I know they use that word liberal in there, and it triggers a lot of conservatives. They don't know what a liberal arts degree is. A liberal arts degree is this. It's a bunch of professions crammed into one. So you're learning a bunch of different professions and see what suits you. It's for people who hasn't decided on what they're going to do yet, what they're like. That's what the liberal arts means.
I would say that if your job or company or whoever you're working with is going to pay for your certifications or degrees, and you won't owe anything for it, why not take that benefit? But outside of that, I can't personally recommend spending money on overpriced piece of paper.
Exactly.
So to Jay Coleman, in no way was that meant as racist. Now, I didn't say it, but I just know Sean, he did not mean that racist.
But I'm just playing out there. That's real. You go to a lot of construction. My stepfather was a carpenter. But towards the end of his career, he was getting outpriced, and he had a hard time finding work.
Yep.
And Max, for every comment that everybody has about
Gotta pay
income and career, sorry if I interrupted somebody, but for every comment about income and career that I've heard, the most valuable thought that I can give you here as we close is that my belief is that the most ROI positive thing you can possibly do as a young person is to find a rock star that also believes in you. And so work on you and be someone that attracts somebody. In all seriousness, work on character, work on physique, work on what you can offer to be somebody that somebody else is going to want to live life with. There's no ROI. There's no more ROI positive thing you can do than that in the next 10 years.
Yeah. No, that's good advice. Tony, anybody else before we just kind of go around the horn here and say what we got going on? Tony, you got anything for Max, or Tremaine, you got anything for Max? Words of wisdom, because I am his dad. He don't listen to me anymore. He did his whole life with that. And, so.
I guess my words of wisdom, allegedly, is just believe in yourself and take risks. The greater the risk, the greater the reward, as long as it's calculated correctly. So just risk in the areas where you have strengths and take advantage of cash flow opportunities as they come.
Great. Tremaine, you got something?
Yeah, I would say find what you really love to do, find what you want to do, and go after it. And if you don't know what you want to do, try a lot of different things, find what you like, because a lot of finding what you want to do is finding what you don't want to do. And just because you feel like you want to do something that you could try it, you might not actually like it. So try a lot of stuff, go after it. And if you're going after Jonah and the whale, make sure you bring your tartar sauce because you're going to enjoy it.
You're gonna
So
be there for a
how to
while.
round out Tremaine's with this. So as his dad, I would say because he's taken the gap year, take advantage of that 17-year-old age and try anything. Because try and don't be like as you get older, you're gonna find
But not
you can
cigarettes.
still always quit a job, but it gets a little more difficult of a decision to do it. Like right now, you're in a position where you can just go out and try stuff. Like if you want to be a W-2 guy, even you can go have 3 15-hour W-2s, and see, and then quit 2 and see which one you love. See who treats you right. Also, like Welty was saying, I totally agree with this. Start making connections with people in the business world. Even if like you're going to be short-term working with them or around them, make an impression. Like make like if 20 people are working with this guy for a weekend, make sure that you're the guy that stands out. So if you see him again, you're like, hey, I'm Max. I met you at that one thing. And, and then, just, I know you got a good head on your shoulders, but just make sure that you, at your age, dude, in this world, I guess my biggest piece of advice would be make sure that you love what you do. Don't go for the money. And then as you start to get older, multiple streams of income. That is going to become more important than ever in the future. It's
He's like,
important
Dad.
now, but pretend like somebody else on this panel just said that because it was actually good advice.
Because we
That
all
is-
told Steve
that-
to say that.
Hey, you know what? Find out what you love to do, man, and just go after it.
Yeah.
And I think trust your instincts, trust your gut, trust your feelings. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. But be willing to don't be above doing, getting a crappy job, because I think probably all of us started out at one. So, but
Well, he
I think,
started off as a better job than I think all of us probably did.
yeah, so that's great. So you're already at the
It
start.
was a better start.
So, yeah. So, I mean, everyone starts somewhere. My first job was a customer service at Safeway. So it was actually a decent job. But, yeah, anyway,
That was a
have fun.
safe way to go.
Have fun. Oh, yeah? You were at Safeway?
No,
That's a safe way to go.
So Tremaine, while we're on you and we're finishing it up right now, what is up with movie stuff? What's coming out this year? What can people expect? People get part of Tremaine's thing. I don't know which platform is the primary push right now. If it's
Patreon. It's Patreon.
It's Patreon now. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. All
we'll,
Patreon.
we'll make sure to put everything in the notes, but check out his
Yeah.
Patreon, support what he's doing.
Thanks,
But
guys.
what do you got going with Simp, the Chat GPT, you got a lot going on.
The most immediate one that I'm just gonna push one, because if I throw you guys a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff, no one will go for anything. Bigfoot's Ghost is coming out Black Friday. So Bigfoot's Ghost.
I love
it's
that
a
you did that.
it's a wacky over the top parody of those paranormal shows. And it's like horror comedy, more comedy than horror, and it's kind of making a mockery.
Is that called horror-com?
Horror comedy? Yeah.
I meant
So, Bigfoot's Ghost. Just go to youtube.com/Heyho Studios. We are 17 subscribers from 5,000. So please,
oh
go
come on, guys!
subscribe. If you guys are not subscribed, please go. Let's go. We're so damn close. We could taste it.
Here, I'll put it in there.
Thank you.
Well, Tony, what do you got going on other than 17 kids?
Yeah, you said that in your stream, and that lady thought that I really have 17 kids. She's all, I have 6 kids, and I thought that was a lot. I'm like, I have 6 kids too. Steve's crazy.
Jeez. Only 6, guys. Come on. Jeez.
6 is small for like homeschoolers. That's a small family.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
We're still in the small family area of the homeschool crowd.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
you're the Philip Rivers.
The homeschool crowd doesn't like shame you for having a small family, though. They're very accepting of it. They don't have cancel culture for having a small family.
There you go.
Okay.
That's good.
Um,
A small
coffee-
family meaning 8 people total.
Yeah,
is coffee
Yeah.
in Colorado coming back?
coffee in Colorado will make a return. Just have to iron out the details with you, Steve.
All right. We can go to the. I don't want to be PC. We can go to the blank coffee shop.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow! Shout out to
Well,
Philip Rivers.
All right.
All right, Phil, I'm coming for you. if Lisa gets pregnant with quadruplets,
There you
So,
go.
Welty, before we do the next one in December, which you guys, it's a month out. I don't have the exact date in front of me. It might even be this date. It might be the 15th of December. No, it would be the 13th. 30 days. Yeah, it'd be the 13th. So Wednesday, December 13th is the next one with AI. But you got your music coming out. What else are you doing?
That's
you got your great wife. You got a house. You live in a. By the way, he lives in a place where he can get like way more of a house.
he's got
Less-
his fake
like,
job. He's got his.
He's, it's again, it's market. I know we're not talking gig, but like it's amazing how much difference there is in areas to live. What you
dude,
pay.
4 bedroom, 3 bath for $1,200 a month mortgage.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
You
Yeah.
know, my parents
Wow.
and moved to Denver in 2000 and have a 4-bedroom full basement.
Oh, I would love a
like
basement.
a great room, a living room, a dining room, a family room. The mortgage that they were paying when they first signed a contract was under $1,000. I mean, granted, they probably had some equity going into it, but
so Welty, you're live a lot. Anything you want to plug about your channel too?
Yeah, we're live weekdays at 10:45 a.m. Eastern. A lot of times I've been doing so much work. This mixtape is the crown jewel of my entrepreneurship so far. So I'm really looking forward to getting it out for people to really enjoy, because about half of it is already on YouTube for people to look at if you're interested. But there will be another half for people who are purchasing the mixtape. And so
there's
I'll
a
be
track
live.
on there that's my favorite.
What's that?
There's a track on there that's my favorite.
Tony Lisa, yeah, the
Yeah.
parody, right? The Lil Wayne parody. So I'll be live a lot more often now that's the bulk of the work for that project is done.
Awesome. Yeah, and you guys check out everybody's channel. Subscribe to Welty if you're on mine. Subscribe to mine if you're on Welty's. Subscribe to Tony's. No matter where you are, subscribe to all of us. But let's get Tremaine to 5K. He should be there.
I should.
You're not gonna plug me?
You got a chance? You won't tell me if you do.
Nah. Can I say something though?
You do have a channel?
Please,
Let me
go.
sub.
Yeah,
man.
let him say.
10,000 likes on the video, and I will live stream my driver's license test.
Oh.
10,000. All right.
He's got to
Are
take
you
his
allowed?
driver's
Are you
license.
allowed to do that? The driver's license?
No, they won't let
No.
him do that.
And I will make it absolutely like fun too.
I'm
Mail it.
gonna send out the newsletter #rodeo.
I'll race Tremaine to 5K. I hope you're close because he's only
I'm 17
Tremaine
away.
will be there
so-
by tomorrow. So
Oh, I have like 17 YouTube accounts. So
No. We don't want that. We don't want that.
yeah, don't
Get-
yeah.
kidding. I
Because
don't
no,
actually have 17 YouTube
No, I know.
accounts.
But no, we don't want that because then, yeah, that's a whole discussion. But if they're not active accounts that you're using, it actually hurts the channel because it's pushing out to more channels, people that aren't actually there.
Not
So,
getting the
anyway, I know. Sorry, yeah,
click-through rates.
I know it's a joke, but like as we were saying earlier, other people are like, "Oh, I'll do that. I'll just start 10 accounts," and which I appreciate the gesture for other people, but real people only. #real people.
So I want to
Hashtag
thank everybody for
impressions
joining
matter.
us tonight.
Yes, yeah.
I want to thank the
All
panel.
impressions matter.
I
Hashtag.
want to thank my son Max. I want to thank all of you for watching. I've seen people coming in and out, and I've seen a lot of comments too that I really like. So I'll probably go back and check out all these comments as well. But Yeah, join us back here on the 13th of December. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence. We all picked one. Tremaine picked the last one. I picked this one. Welty picked the next one, and I think we all were definitely jumping on the Welty one, because ending the year with what AI is doing right now is scary to think what they'll do next year and the year after. So
ChatGPT 5 is going to come out soon already.
Well,
Yeah.
Right here.
Jay Coleman said that he is ChatGPT 5.
Oh my goodness.
oh, well,
Well, thank you so much, Steve. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Welty. Thank you, Tony.
yeah. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you back here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed the last two. We really enjoyed it when we did it in March. I know it's a little late and we're all getting a little tired. So, but join us next time for the AI one. And we will see you back here then. And all of us will see you on our channels before then. So come on by anytime. And
Stay driven.
stay
Stay
driven.
driven. Driven dad.
Have a good one, guys.
Uh,
Thank you.
Have a good one. Peace, guys. Good night.